And welcome to the Redeye stream number 252. All right, no conspiracy tonight, guys. We got the giant see-through wall at the border. What? Wait a minute. President Trump is going to create a sliding glass door on the border. What's going on here, MC? And I can hear myself.
At the border.
I'm muting you, B. Yeah, muting you, B. But MC, is this going to be a giant sliding glass door? What do you mean by see-through wall?
No, he's talking about the large metal slats barrier that they were talking about. That's what he's referring to.
Oh, is that my bad?
Yeah. No, he's not talking about. He's talking about putting those big giant steel slats in. All right.
Yeah, it's a 100% recyclable border barrier.
Well, the thing is that the people.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Yeah, real quick, MC, because you're gonna take my joke and turn it into a real topic here. But all I could envision when I heard President Trump say that is, oh man, a giant bulletproof glass wall along the border and all these birds just running into it and fucking dying. And PETA just bigging out. That's what my head.
Well, then PETA can go down there along with the elf and everybody else to help them by you know, making sure that they pick up the birds and the dead birds as they hit, just like they do from the the bird Cuisinarts that they all want for the green energy.
Well, you guys make fun of this, but that's actually been a serious issue at a lot of Apple stores. Folks have just been walking into those big clear glass doors.
All the better.
It's not very.
If you're gonna just walk yourself right into that glass door, just like the stupid ass birds that go flying into my screen doors, you know what? It's called natural selection, and you've been opting out of the gene pool. We're just giving you a hand.
Okay.
I nearly walked into it.
So President Trump was trying to appeal.
Make my case.
He was trying to appeal to the Democrats by talking a lot about the heroin overdoses and the war on drugs. Is that the way to win this argument? Because I don't think so. The Democrats don't give a fuck about the opioid addiction crisis. They don't fucking care.
The Democrats don't care about people either. How's that going to change things? This was not done to do that. That's not what he did it for.
You know, that's a lot of crap.
What I know, what's a lot of crap.
You say Democrats don't care about people. Come on.
They don't.
Well, they don't care. I mean, the dead
I
even
came
vote.
in at the right fucking time. What's up, y'all?
Hey, how's it going? How you feeling?
I'm feeling fucking great, actually.
Good.
Nice one.
Dude, like, I feel so much better. And I saw you guys were streaming. And I'm like, I haven't done this in a while. So, Mad Dog, my man, what's up?
Yeah. Good to see you, Wolfshot.
I know, right, dude? And I don't know who pussy woman pussy. There's pussy in it.
Talk about B.
That's B. Quinn, Jensen's sister.
So would I just call you pussy or what?
You can call me whatever you want. I can't actually change my name for 90 days, so I'm stuck with that.
Oh.
You've rolled too many times.
Pussy Willow. If anyone gets that reference, you get a cookie.
I like cookies. Oh, but MC, yes, you got to be fair, right? I have to defend the Democrats. Even when ex-Mrs. Memes said that all Republicans are evil, I had to say, no, that's not true. She did not take that well.
What is Clint Eastwood yelling about now?
Was Clint Eastwood what?
Dad over there.
No. Democrat, no, they care. You could make an argument that their actions have had ill effects. You could have an argument there, but to say that somebody doesn't care, it's never assume malice when
I assume malice when I sit up there and watch their actions. Their actions harm people. It is pointed out that their actions harm people, and their response is to continue their actions and demand that more of their actions are adhered to. then you're going to tell me
why are they
this is love. Come on, stupid. This is like listening to Sam Kinison talk about love. Come on, I wouldn't lie to you 15 times.
No, seriously. Why do you think they're doing that? Could it have anything to do with the quote-unquote other side? No, and again, yes, bucks on both houses and everything, because each side ends up tearing out the structure of what was there rather than trying to do their best they can, at least too often, or at least it seems that way. Again, I haven't worked with
it seems that way because you who talks about how he knows all these things and sees all these things, doesn't spend the time to find out what actually is in things.
Coming from Old Man River over here.
Hey, I just looked up the 13th Amendment, and dude, we need to increase the restrictions on slavery within the United States.
And of course, how does he find this out? Because when I ask him a simple question, which is does the 13th Amendment outlaw slavery? He goes, yes. I said, read it.
Well, that's the thing. No, I remember you said it before, and then I just didn't remember.
Yeah. You actually
made me look it up. God damn you, MC.
Like, read the 13th Amendment, and there's a clause in there. It's not a clause per se, but it's like if you're a criminal or something like that, the 13th Amendment kind of doesn't apply to you or something. Or is that?
No, that's what it says. There's an exemption for people that are duly convicted of a crime. Thereby, if you go to jail, you're convicted of a crime, you can be used as a slave.
Oh no!
I'm gonna break your hip.
Slavery in the United States in 2019.
I am laughing
because of the
shock on
people like me didn't actually keep going back and reading and being like, "Oh, what is this?"
Because people like you, who should have been acting like adults in high school, were still acting like freaking 2-year-olds.
Yeah, but you guys bitch about high school
far in both directions.
Y'all bitch about high school kids not being involved in politics, and then you want them involved in politics. Which is it?
Who said I want them involved in politics?
Like, I see a lot of people bitch about kids being in politics. Kids as in, like, 15 and up. You know what I'm saying?
My bitch isn't for them to get involved in politics. My bitch is stop acting like 2-year-olds. Start acting as if you're going to be an adult soon.
Hey, I don't want them involved in politics. That's when you end up with the Parkland kids and fucking stealing our guns and shit. Fuck all that.
Yeah, but some of them kids, man, they have different ideals, and that's what makes America great. We all have different ideals of shit, you know?
That doesn't make us great. Different ideals do not make us a phenomenal nation.
Yeah, but that's the freedom of our ideals is what makes us great.
Isn't that the reason why you got a voting age?
I don't when I was a kid in high school, I would go to protests. I was very involved in the political scene before I could vote. And I wouldn't take back those years ever. Because I learned more from going to protests and going to see politicians speak than anything.
Yeah, but you see, normal people don't really pay attention to protests because you're just ranting, raving, carrying on. Most of them, like you, weren't old enough to vote while you so you should have your opinion.
Why not have an opinion?
Have different backgrounds and stuff, and when you hear people's raw complaints rather than something that may be scripted.
Memes, real quick. I'm reading the chat here. Hammered Spud says, anyone else kind of think this ex Mrs. Memes was Nancy Pelosi? Can you confirm or deny that?
She prefers Hawaii.
I don't like Pelosi. I'm not a fan of Pelosi. I'm really not a fan of any politician, really. They're all like
great.
They're all like, I don't know. They all seem like celebrities now.
That is a problem.
Yeah, idiocracy's coming true.
Even though we elected a celebrity. But hey, whatever. I didn't vote for him.
So when are we getting President Camacho?
When are we getting President Kid Rock or like?
He almost did the Senate thing.
No, that was a whole fucking CD ploy. That pissed me off.
Well, yeah.
But do you understand what I mean though? Like the political scene right now is more about Instagram and social media and.
Well, see, that's the general opinion that we've got in the rest of the world, is that American politics is just like a big stage show. It's a lot of hullabaloo and music and fucking lights and cameras and all this kind of shit. And then you go and have a look at, say, things like Putin, for example. Nice, calm, quiet, fucking dignified conversations, all this kind of stuff.
Dignified dictator, mass murderer.
Yeah, I'm with MC on that. I do not trust the former leader of the fucking KGB. Nope, he can go rot in hell for all I give a fuck.
He was not the leader of the KGB, by the way. He was a member of the KGB.
Whatever, he was. It's like, he was a member of the Gestapo. I mean. He was a Nazi, but he didn't do all that terrible shit.
I'm just letting people understand the difference. That's all.
But you know what I mean, right?
No. But if you look at Putin, the crazy thing is, if it might be the antithesis for us in many ways, and many other folks as well. But what happens if all of a sudden you have a top-ranked spy in an intelligence agency becomes the leader of a nation? I mean, it's not like the UK would elect James Bond or anything.
It's not like the United States. Yeah, it's not like the United States would never elect the director of the CIA, George Bush Sr.
We had
Herbert.
Wait. We had Herbert fucking Hoover. Come on.
Herbert Hoover was not an intelligence agent.
We like heroes. We like folks.
Wait, wasn't Herbert Hoover the leader of
J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI bloke?
Yes, J. Edgar Hoover. Herbert Hoover was not. It's not the same person.
I'm sorry. I'm kind of on pain pills, so whatever.
I was wondering why you were feeling so well. Now I know.
Hey, oxycodone is a hell of a drug.
Hey, don't be careful with that if you're on Oxycontin.
No, dude, I'm in controlled doses, is what they call it.
I mean, crush it up between 2 dimes and then snip it.
That can be on. That can have some really, that stuff.
Don't listen to the Aussie.
Can be really, really dangerous.
No, it is a Schedule 4 narcotic.
I mean,
it's the next best thing to heroin. So yeah, be careful of that.
Well, I mean, if weed was legal where I'm at, hospital grade stuff and medical marijuana, I would totally be doing that. But I don't have a choice.
I thought that it was legal in Virginia. It's not legal.
If it was legal in Virginia, you wouldn't see me. I wouldn't be on here. You know what I'm saying?
Are you sure, or will you be on here all the time?
Well, I mean,
kind of like monkeys.
I might be on here all the time. I don't know. Mad Dog, what do you think?
Okay, so actually, I've been meaning to ask you. I heard something about the governor of Virginia wants to ban assault weapons, right, or something like that. That
bill died really fast.
How about the one in Oregon, MD?
Did they shoot it?
Hey, I'm trying to ignore that.
Yeah, you want to talk about my pussy ass state? Let's talk about yours.
I don't foresee any gun control measure actually getting pushed through in Oregon. We're an open carry state. I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Yeah,
do you see the legislation? Because they were already doing it on a municipal basis like 6 months ago, man.
If municipal, so city by city, well, that's different than a statewide measure out of Salem.
No, because I remember there was a story from your state. Sorry, Wolfshot, but no, yeah, there was a story about them getting rid of pretty much the majority. It seemed like of just semi-automatic weaponry and stuff. And I had heard about that, and I'm just curious what status is.
Yeah, zoned out a second there.
Semi-automatic, like
basically non-revolver. Yeah. It was very restrictive legislation.
Holy shit, man. You got more problems than my state. That fucking bill died faster than R. Kelly's career.
So did someone piss on it, did they?
I feel like it's too soon, but I'm not sure how long ago.
It's never too soon to make fun of R. Kelly.
Hey, Melissa, how's it going? Hey, Maddie, how you doing? You got a lot of people here today waiting for you, Mad Dodge. Need to say hi to the chat.
I think he's getting mauled by his children right now.
He's getting mauled by his children. Then while he's waiting for to go back to the oh, okay, he came back. Rats. I was going to take over.
Yeah. Well, actually, you guys go ahead and continue. I'm looking up that bill that you guys are talking about right now out of Oregon. So.
He's starting to get paranoid. Oh my God, they're coming for me now.
Can you get a picture of that wall as well?
What?
Through glass wall?
Yeah, the glass wall, the envisioned glass wall.
Somebody better call Harvey.
Trump was not asking for a glass wall. He was asking for a steel slat wall. Because that's what the Border Patrol are saying will work.
I need the wall built around my house because I hate everyone. I need that to happen immediately.
Are you sure you're not Nancy Pelosi?
Well,
wait. Does she want a wall around her house?
Oh, she has a wall around her house. Laura Loomer sit up there and jumped it with a bunch of illegal aliens.
Damn, dude.
Laura's causing more mischief.
You know she wants to run for president. That Pelosi.
Well, she can run. She'll end up just like Hillary.
I want to run for president, you guys.
You can run.
You have
a better chance.
Are you old enough?
You have a better chance than Hillary does.
I'm 31. I don't think I'm old enough.
Oh, no, you got to wait another 4 years. You have to be at least 35.
Well, it doesn't suck, but it kind of sucks.
I know. It's Matt and I can do it after this year.
Okay, so here we go. Portland, Oregon. An Oregon campaign is planning on introducing 2 measures to strengthen state gun control laws. The Lift Every Voice Oregon group is spearheaded by Portland area clergy, of course.
Well, there's your problem.
Yeah, they want to ban state sales of assault weapons and magazines that hold more than 10 rounds. The group started after the deadly shooting at a high school in Parkland, fucking Florida. Fuck you, hog. Anyway, since then,
wait. What is considered an assault weapon? Like automatic assault weapon?
No, like
anything that scares people.
It sounds like a restriction on pretty much every semi-automatic rifle, I think, with a capacity of greater than 10.
Yeah, so like an SKS, AR-15, stuff like that. You know, the ones that look cool? Yeah, those.
Yeah, when Trump banned the bump stocks, I'm just like, alrighty then, sir. I'm going to use a stick like I've always been doing.
Why don't you just use your finger like normal?
Because I have fat fucking fingers.
We'll get a gun with an Arctic guard on it.
Well, no, actually, that would, depending on how you hold it, there'd be less bump if you're actually hitting the guard and stuff within the trigger.
I don't know. I've had more luck with like sticks or something, or a book. The Bible works.
Get an FNFAL because get an FNFAL because you can hold the trigger guard away.
You've used the holy book to increase your fire rate?
Hell yeah, I have.
Hoorah!
Why not?
Certain demographics.
Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. We're going to run it out quickly.
US soldiers have been doing that for over 10 years now. Oh, look, there's a muzzo with a holy book. Fucking shoot him.
I feel like unless you're literally fighting demons and devils, that's blasphemy.
How is this blasphemy?
Shut up, memes.
You're using the Bible to increase your rate of fire on a semi-automatic rifle.
All right, memes, I'll put it to you. If God has a fucking problem with it, he can come down and tell us himself.
Just because you have the
what
right
book
to do
am I
it doesn't
supposed to
mean you
use?
should.
I'll use the Book of Mormon next time, okay? It's not as good though.
It's not as thick. You need something a little bit more weight behind it.
Yeah, it's got some weight on it, man. The pocket Bibles, they're perfect.
This kind of sounds like a euphemism if you came to the conversation late.
We're all going to hell.
I'm already there, dude. I've been shot and shit like that, man. That was hell. That was hell on earth for me, man.
Do you still have more surgeries coming, or is that all behind you now?
Well, it depends. They want to do some blood tests on my kidney to see if I'm okay. But barring that, like,
are you urinating blood?
No.
If you need a new kidney,
are you able to urinate?
Yeah.
Okay. Your kidneys are working okay then. But at this point in time, I don't think I'd mess with them unless for some reason they're causing you a ton of pain.
Well, it's my back on my left side is kind of bothering me, and it's kind of concerning. The urge to go is more frequent, but it's less so since I was on the antibiotics. But they still want to make sure that no collateral damage, because there's still bone fragment, there's still bullet fragments in me. So,
well, if you need a new kidney, you can have one of mine. The only problem is it's an Australian kidney, so you'll be perpetually drunk afterwards.
I haven't had a drink in forever.
Don't tempt her. That's not a negative. That's like a positive. What are you talking about?
That's the best part about it. Like, when I was over in Africa last, I didn't worry about getting Ebola because I'd just get the mosquitoes drunk.
You realize what you're doing. You realize that people are looking at us going, we can orphan harvest Aussies. Yeah.
What? Are you saying we should harvest the organs of Australian folks to save money on booze?
Yes.
Well, it's much less weird than soaking a tampon in fucking vodka and sticking it up your ass.
Is this why these people in Australia are waking up in bathtubs full of ice, missing a kidney?
Why would they be waking up? You need, if you get, there's 2 available, take 2.
Well, Aussies are
Yeah, no. That's why we've got so many backpacker killers out here. We're taking all the good kidneys. We're taking all the good kidneys and livers and shit because ours are all fucked.
And I guarantee you that Jensen is all for this methodology.
Oh God, yes.
No,
Jensen. You guys can have the kidneys. I get the rest of the body for the barbecue.
He's willing to make a deal.
We're not throwing another Aussie on the Barbie. No.
Bye, Melissa. Take it easy, girl.
Oh, God. We're driving everybody away. Could we get back onto the thing? The sheer effect of the president pretty much spit out a worse deal for the Democrats than he normally did. It's like, well, I'm going to ask for more money, and I'm only going to grant temporary 3 years for the Dreamers, rather than give me my wall, and we'll give a pathway to citizenship.
Well,
is that what happened?
Yeah.
So Trump gave up for the Dreamers? What?
Yeah.
No.
If you give me the wall, I'll let the Dreamers stay.
It's not actually a bad plan because people are going to see that he's more willing to, come to an agreement and stuff. And when the Democrats turn around and stick their finger up to him, again, it makes them look like complete dicks because he's now saying, I'm going to do this to help the kiddies. And the moment the Democrats say, screw you, that's it. They're fucked.
And they said, screw you.
Yeah, he's going to make them out to be hypocrites pretty much.
Because
he specifically said at one point, we're going to have lots of compromise. He definitely inserted that part. And I'm just like, that's very interesting. He's literally playing here's a softball, I'm teeing it up. And he says it will go into effect immediately, basically ending the government shutdown.
He's basically telling them, all right, agree to give me the wall, and I won't hit you with this bat.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. See, what people don't want to admit is Trump has, believe it or not, modified his stance because he was serious about building a concrete barrier, a thick concrete barrier along the wall. To go down to, okay, we'll do metal slats all across the wall or all across the border is a come down. It is a him moving, all right, in their direction on the wall area. But that's all the further he can go now.
It also makes installation much easier logistically.
It does make it easier, and it actually makes it more how do I want to put this?
Yeah, but that shit didn't work for Katrina. They had those metal slats and they fucking disintegrated essentially.
Yeah, that's also because they weren't maintained for many, many years, like most of America's infrastructure.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you really think that this won't go in the same path? Because
Yeah,
our infrastructure
actually I do, and I'll
shit.
tell you why.
Our infrastructure is shit.
Yeah, but I'll explain to you why what I'm saying that and why. Okay, it's not that there won't be damage done, but a barrier like that along huge sections of land along the wall, while holes will appear, those holes will be in known areas. You are still funneling the problem, and watching those small little areas is a hell of a lot easier. All right. And you can get to those areas if they're open, you're like, okay, I can just put somebody here where I can get to these areas very quickly. And that's always been the issue.
Yeah, but MC, why can't we take some of that money and invest it to infrastructure on top of building a wall and compromising, like Donald Trump said, with the Dreamers? Why can't we do that? Because if we ensure the money goes to infrastructure, that will
who created a $2 trillion infrastructure program that went nowhere?
I mean, I'm not saying that like
there were signs put up for the not quite all shovel-ready jobs.
Were there any shovel-ready jobs?
There were probably shovels.
Well, like for Katrina, for instance, their infrastructure crumbled, and that's because the Army Corps of Engineers, who were supposed to set up these walls, didn't have the follow-through or the cash funds available.
That's not true. What happened was that money was then allocated from the Army Corps of Engineers, all right, to the local politicians, specifically the mayor, all right, of New Orleans and the governor of New Orleans, or the governor of Louisiana.
Then why don't we give it straight to whoever will be producing this wall?
Well, that's a good question. In this case, it would be the Army Corps of Engineers to build the wall, but they need the funding directly for construction listed from Congress, and Congress is refusing to do that.
Infrastructure, because it guarantees infrastructure.
Does it have to be from Congress?
Yes. If you're
Are you going to teleport it out of your butt there, memes?
No, I was going to say, couldn't the president have $1 trillion coin minted? Or in this case, like a $5 billion or $20 billion.
Memes. I don't like Donald Trump either, but this shit has to get fixed.
No shit.
Period. I don't like him. No. Everyone knows I don't like him, but this shit needs to get fixed, or we're wasting time and money.
We are.
Okay, here's my question about the wall, though: are they going to use ground penetrating sonar along the wall as well, so you could tell when a tunnel is being built below the wall?
Okay,
because there's an issue with tunnels.
The thing about the issue with tunnels is the same problem that you have, because these are metal slat things, right? You can sit up there and use some heavy duty tools that are mobile, drive up to this barrier, right, and then cut a hole through it.
Dude, no, it's so much easier than that. You go back to Viet Cong and you goddamn light them fuckers on fire.
No, these steel slats, you're not going to be able to light on fire and do anything with it because there's concrete in the center of it.
No, what you do is you get some oil and you dump it in there and you light the fuckers up. Like in the Viet Cong.
We're not doing a moat full of fire. If we're going to do a moat...
But she's talking about, are you talking about taking care of the tunnels?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
about. They didn't put oil down there. They threw in white phosphorus grenades. What are you talking about?
What? Like it's the Geneva Convention.
Well, that's why I said oil and not white phosphorus.
That's right. You throw a Willie Pete down there, and that fucking burns up all the oxygen. Then you throw a HE grenade down there, and that collapses the tunnel.
No. Here I felt bad enough about utilizing bats.
How about the electricity idea? Can we go back to that?
Well,
make it a giant electrical fence.
Are we talking about the collars, the electric collars from Coneheads?
I have an idea. We build dirty, great big trenches and then fill them.
Don't encourage MC.
Magma.
I want sharks with laser beams on their heads.
Freaking laser beams. Get it right.
Yep.
No, but for real, like,
don't you like how people come to me? They just come to my solutions that I've suggested over time. Come to me, children. Come to me.
Shut up, Dad. I'm gonna put you back in the old folks' home. But no, they did something to the Viet Cong. Some of the tunnels, not all of them, obviously, but they destroyed a good portion of their tunnels, didn't they?
Yeah, no. Yeah. And what they did is I wasn't joking when I said what we did. We would throw a white phosphorus grenade down into the tunnel, and it would do exactly what Farty said. It would take all the oxygen, and then we would go down there and either detonate it, or we would go to have people the tunnel rats go down there to see what was left.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's more not violating Geneva Convention ways of doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, that's only a recent addition.
Well, Pinoid's in the chat. He said, why can't we just burn the witches? Is there a big problem with witches illegally crossing our southern border?
I don't know.
Stevens alone.
You know, my granddad used to say that gooks burn faster because they're like 80% oil or something.
Oh yeah. They're not real. MC will get this one. What's got 500 balls and fucks gooks?
What?
A claymore.
Nice.
Yeah, my granddad was in Vietnam, and he had a lot of jokes. A lot of jokes.
Yeah, it sounds like a very pleasant fellow. Anyway.
He was an asshole.
Just on the whole Claymore thing, the best photo I ever seen was called The Ultimate Headbanger, and it was like one of the Golden Eagles, the US Army fucking parachute team. He's jumping out of an airplane. He's spread eagle just before the parachute opens. He's got a Claymore fucking strapped to his forehead, front towards enemy, or facing outwards. The Ultimate Headbanger.
Criminal Minds are quite interesting. We actually, when I was in, that was one of the things that they did let us train with, as we would go out for our firepower demonstration exercise, which was toward the end of basic training, where we'd get to detonate Claymore mines, fire the M60s, fire all the tracer rounds. I mean, it was, and they waited for like the night fire exercise so you can see all the tracers and everything going. It was pretty freaking awesome.
Oh, yeah, you were talking about those claymores. I thought you were talking about like a 60-inch blade.
No. Fucking yeah. We got a yearly exercise like that called Exercise El Alamein, and yeah, it goes everything from pistols all the way up to fucking dropping live bombs and shit like that. It's fucking awesome.
My Claymore. My reference is different.
Claymores are fucking mad when you daisy chain the bastards up and you're doing any convoy fucking ambush, and you can daisy chain 50 of the bastards along about 3 k's of roadway, and you fucking just detonate the bastards all in one go.
I remember a story from my grandpa about when he was in training, and he was doing mortar training, and he missed his mark, and he ended up blowing up these dummies that were supposed to be like his comrades, his team members, whatever. And his drill instructor started yelling at him like, was he drilling your girlfriend or something? While over here, Jojo and Fuckface are still,
and that's why we train.
Sitting there having a good time.
But on that, I totally fucking agree with the whole point of the US Army Corps of Engineers just being contracted to fix the most of US infrastructure, because what you have with private enterprise, especially when it's a government contracted private enterprise, is that they think, oh, bottomless money pit, so they'll milk it for everything it's got, and you end up getting fuck all done. Whereas you're paying the fucking Army Corps of Engineers anyways, and most militaries, and I'm not sure about the Yanks, but they're sort of, okay, this rope that we've just used, okay, keep it because we might need it again, instead of just getting another length of rope.
Yeah, but
that kind of shit.
But you still have to have infrastructure present, so it doesn't fall apart.
Yeah, that's right.
Katrina,
but you got to allow for maintenance. That's true, but the maintenance budget, the maintenance budgets are a different budget and can be allocated differently. It's no longer building. It's no longer construction. The construction budgets and the maintenance budgets are completely separate, because the maintenance budget, you can easily fill that in with what they call discretionary funds.
Yeah, but then you have to hold those states with the border wall accountable when they don't use the maintenance funds appropriately.
Well, you take it out of their hands and you make sure that it's just done on the federal level. That's why if you leave it in the hands of the Army Corps of Engineers, if you don't reallocate that back to the states to quote unquote maintain it, all right, then it'll work. The problem is when you turn right around and go, okay, we built it, it is now up for you to maintain, and the Army Corps, and it's taken out of the Army Corps of Engineers purview.
Yeah, but the Army Corps of Engineers have to have permission from the state, though.
Well, to work on it, that's true. So what happened in Katrina?
That's the problem.
The Army Corps of Engineers built the initial dikes, all right, but the maintenance was left up to the states. Now, so what was the Army Corps of Engineers doing there? They were only allowed to survey and make suggestions on what is necessary to maintain this. But the states, the budget, the money that was being allocated to the states to fix it just never got done. And so they were constantly putting out warnings saying this is inadequate, this is inadequate, this is inadequate, and they were totally ignored.
And fundamentally, you've also got to remember too that when the Army Corps of Engineers made most of the infrastructure in America, that was back in the 1950s.
Yeah, but isn't that a violation of states' rights if the federal government just takes over completely?
It can be. It depends on how you're looking at it. But when you're talking about the border security, no.
Yeah, but I could hear that all day long, though.
But if you're talking about border security, the answer is no, because border security is strictly, according to the Supreme Court, strictly the purview of the federal government.
Yeah, but the allocation of money to maintain still goes to the states, because
no, it wouldn't. It would go to because the purview of the border wall is strictly the federal government. It won't go to the states at all, because it has to be maintained by the federal government.
No, I really think someone can make an argument that it would be a violation of the state's rights.
I'm just giving you what the ruling was by the Supreme Court.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that someone's going to come out somewhere and be like, "This is a violation of state blah blah blah."
Oh yeah, somebody can figure out a way to stick their freaking snout in the trough. You're damn right they're going to try and do that. That's what they're going to try to do.
Well, just on that, I'll bring up the California fires, for example. Like, I'm a firefighter. My bread and butter used to be forest fires and all that kind of shit. And it's absolutely horrific for someone like me to see the lack of mitigation that's ever been done in California. And it has come to a point where, like, Trump has gone, right, that shit's got to stop. Fucking, we've got to do something else. Fuck the hippies, fuck the greenies. We're not listening to them cunts anymore. We're going to be mitigating it properly from now on. Now, how long that goes for is another story. But, you know, a case can be made that, like, you know, in New Orleans where the levees failed and all this kind of stuff, okay, the locals didn't fucking look after it. We'll take that out of their hands and stop this shit from happening again.
Well, technically, I don't think the locals could have done anything besides the state government or local governments. Like MC said, the money was allocated to them.
Yeah, and then they went and spent it on a road that was never built and a hospital that was never built.
There you go.
Ended up in some cunt's pocket. So therefore, they can't be trusted with it. So we'll take it out of their hands.
And then California would be the same way with the fires and everything else. Their infrastructure is absolutely... Everything in California is twice as bad as everywhere else when it comes to infrastructure, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, but states' rights goes only so far, and when it becomes a point where it's negligence, then you do have a case that you can go, well, you can't be trusted to fucking handle this, so it's not your problem anymore.
Well, unfortunately, states' rights supersedes federal or something.
Well, yeah, and I'm looking at the chat here. Penoid said, I have to scroll up a little bit. Okay. Penoid says, Aussies aren't allowed to talk about how countries should work till their country is free of those giant devil bats, or they win a war against at least some turkeys or something.
We're keeping the turkeys at bay, so go fuck yourself.
Didn't Australia have a big hand in World War II, specifically the Pacific Theater?
Yes,
yeah, but they lost to a bunch of emus.
Yeah, Now, you're right there, and what we did was we were the first ones to stop the Japanese and turn them around, and we did that with 2 reserve regiments, and also 2 in the Western Desert in North Africa. We were the first to stop the fucking Nazis as well and turn them around as well. So, yeah, we kind of like a fight.
Wait.
Yeah, they did their part, I think.
Wait. So what you're saying is emus have a more powerful military than the Japanese or the Nazis?
fucking oath they do. Have you ever seen a fucking emu?
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
Dude,
in real life.
You get punched in the gut by an emu,
Yes.
you might as well kill yourself.
Yeah, there's a couple farms around here where they have emus on them. So I have.
You sure they're not ostriches?
They taste delicious. They do. Emu.
I'm pretty sure I could tell an emu apart from an ostrich, but I don't know. Whatever.
You ever try to ride an ostrich?
We didn't fight a war with them, so.
You ever try to ride an ostrich? I was really drunk once, and there's an ostrich farm like 45 minutes away, and I got really shit-faced and tried to ride one. That really hurt.
So the only reason
I wish
why
I could have seen that shit.
We actually did, in fact, end up winning the emu war, which was that instead of sending the army out, we let the farmers take care of it the way that they wanted to, and they went all Wolf Creek on their ass. The only reason why the emus are still in existence now is because we don't have any guns anymore.
And they're tasty.
That's one thing I don't get. With everything wanting to kill you, how are you giving up your guns? Why would you do that?
Because there's not really much point in shooting a 45 at a funnel web spider. It's a bit overkill when you can just step on the bastard.
I was thinking of a kangaroo. Like, you fucking shoot that fucker in the face.
Dude,
no, we just run the fuckers over. That's what we do.
Dude, have you seen that video where that kangaroo was going after that dog and the dude's owner just came up and punched him in the face? Yeah.
Fun fact, the bloke who punched that kangaroo, he actually died not so long after that because he had cancer, and the whole thing of like they went out roo shooting just to fucking give this guy something to do. Like, you know, he'd never been roo shooting before, so his mates took him out roo shooting, and one of the dogs went out and fucking the roo grabbed the dog, and he's just like, fuck it, I'm dead anyway, and he ran up and just punched the fucking roo. But if you watch it too, right, the roo was absolutely shocked when he did it. So this dude just walks up, fucking smacks him. The roo just sort of shakes his head and goes, huh? What the fuck? You bastard! Huh? Shit, hang on. This cunt's got more balls than me. I'm going to fuck off now.
That shit was awesome. I'm like, dude, I want to fight a kangaroo.
No, you don't.
I just want to point out, Brian Blessed, the actor,
punched a polar bear.
A polar bear. Now that man has a pair of balls on him.
No. If you were a polar bear and you ripped open a tent and you saw Brian Blessed just go, ah, and then take a fucking swing at it, you'd shit yourself too. I don't care what fucking animal you are.
Whoa.
And true. Just like and if it keeps it up, it'll end up just like the grizzly man.
I have become bear shit, Papa. Are you proud of me now?
I want to hear that footage, but supposedly, I guess it'll never be released.
It starts with, eat her first! Take her! Stop chewing on me!
Dude, the footage is on YouTube. Like, it's just the audio, but, like, you can hear him screaming, like legit death, like this dude is dying and he's screaming at his girlfriend to run. It's pretty disturbing. And you can hear him getting crunched, like literally crunched.
Like, and she doesn't run? Crazy bitch. Like, she should have been out of there.
Please, Mr. Bear, can you stop chewing on my boyfriend? Really, he's not that delicious.
In her defense, I don't think you can run from a fucking Kodiak.
No,
she walks up to it with a daisy going, peace, man.
Like, I don't think you can outrun a grizzly or a Kodiak or whatever the fuck they were, you know?
No, well, they were grizzlies, yeah.
Here's a fun fact that they used to have what's it called? Basically, they were planned out fights that, you know, were going to go one side. It's like racing a cheetah against greyhounds. The greyhounds have got longer legs. Like they can run further than a cheetah. So the greyhounds will always win. And in England, they used to have betting competitions between a lion and a grizzly bear. And it doesn't turn out the way you think, because the lions have actually got pretty soft skulls, and basically what the grizzly bear does is just punch the fuck out of the lion and kill it that way. But cunts used to lose a lot of money on those things.
Wow. I would fight a lion.
I want one as a pet. I like cats.
When a female lion can weigh up to like 250 pounds, 300 pounds, and that's when it's lean, it's not something to play with. It really isn't.
Yeah, no, I'm about sick and tired of this fucking mountain lion hanging around my house. Like, fuck this motherfucker.
Just you know what? Let your kids out there. It'll be fun.
YouTube viral video coming.
Use them as bait, Mad Dog. Use them as bait.
Yeah, they only need to run as fast as the slowest child.
Oh no! See, I found out why that the mountain lion jumped through that person's window. Their house cat was sitting in the window. The fucking mountain lion was trying to eat their cat and fucking leap through their window. Like, I'm telling you, I would shit myself. I'm just chilling at my desk here, and then next thing I know, a fucking mountain lion's coming through my window.
Oh fuck my god! Noise. Fuck all that. I'd be just like, you know what? Eat me. Just whatever. No, cougars are fucking assholes, man. Like, fuck that shit.
Well, this goes back to the barrier, right? When it's just like a glass window with Windex, right? Isn't that how it works?
No, I swear to God, when I heard President Trump say it'll be a see-through wall, I just envisioned a giant sliding glass door along the border.
Oh, man. Are you serious? He really said that?
Well, he was talking about the slat walls where you can see through it. Everybody knew what he was talking about.
So,
other than me,
I didn't know. Sound like a good idea to me.
With Trump's slat wall kind of thing that they can see through, are they going to have border guards on the other side, you know, doing the no, you can't get in, then turning around and giving them the brown eye or something like that?
I mean, are we going to... What is the National Guard? Isn't that their job, is to protect our shit? Here.
Could the National Guard be deployed? The problem is that the National Guard is pairing up.
Is what?
It's a sort of kind of yes and no situation.
Guard is part of the regular army, the regular military. It's part of the U.S. military, and as such, they're prevented from any kind of law enforcement duties except in times of crisis, and therefore you cannot have them arresting people or performing duties that are of the nature of law enforcement. They're not allowed to do law enforcement type roles.
Yeah, but you see in like Russia and every other fucking country posted guards.
We're not Russia.
Yeah, that's a totally different thing. Like, okay, so your army can't be used as a police force. However, that's the reason why you do have a National Guard. So in the position where your police can't handle everything, they're off doing fucking storm damage and looking for bodies and all this kind of stuff.
Actually, that's not why we have a National Guard. The reason we have a National Guard is so that the states, in times of emergencies, can call up and utilize the assets of the United States military without having to go through the federal government necessarily.
Yep. Yeah, I was getting to that. Because we do have a similar thing out here where we can't use our army as a police force or anything like that, except for terrorism operations or something like that. And there's only ever been one time where we've actually deployed the army to the streets as an actual police force, and that was during the Hilton bombing in Sydney. Because they thought that, like, oh shit, there's going to be more bombings and all this. This was back in the 1980s, 1981, I think it was. And yeah, it's the first time that they've ever actually been deployed. But nowadays, some things have changed, like with the counter-terrorism elements and all this kind of stuff, where we got one commando regiment and special air service. In New South Wales, where I live, it's called TAG East, or Tactical Area Group East. So they're actually allowed to deploy as a police force in times of terrorism and stuff like that.
So you want to talk about the more trolling by the Trump administration?
We could always talk about my way of dealing with the whole needing a wall, but well, actually, it's all right. Means isn't here. I'm allowed to say it. I'm still saying, you guys just get your military and start marching south. Take over the whole damn country. You don't need a goddamn wall. Problem dealt with.
Well, I got one on that one. Arclight missions, pretty easy to organise during Vietnam.
Wait.
I like the way you're going.
Wait. Didn't Reagan propose something to annexing Mexico way back in the day?
Might have been a joke.
Might
have been a joke, like when he got caught just before a live feed where he said something along the lines of, "I've made a decree that outlaws Russia and will be invading in 30 minutes" or something.
No, the bombs start dropping in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we're gonna.
It was also people jumped all over him, and he's like, "It's a joke." They all know it's a joke. Well, to be honest, I know some friends of mine that ended up deployed for 2 weeks because the Russians freaked.
So are we gonna create a separate? Is each state with a border wall gonna create their own police force for?
No, they've already got one. It's the bloody Immigration Border Patrol monkeys.
They're not doing a good job.
That's why they need a wall.
Because their resources are spread. The wall gives you one ability that they never want to talk about, which is you can then concentrate your resources in the areas that you need to do it. That's the biggest issue.
But MC, don't you see it's like a Band-Aid over a problem?
It's not a Band-Aid over a problem. If you're able to concentrate your forces over certain areas, it's not going to stop it 100%. It's there to reduce it to a reasonable level to where you can work at it. And if you've got a steel slat construction all along the border, right, when there's a hole or when there's a cut through, it's easy to deploy a minimal amount of forces to detain the people coming through that area. It slows it down to a trickle. And what's more is then you can do a much better check and a much more thorough check at the border entry points.
Yeah, but that still doesn't affect the allocation of funds.
Yeah, but
the funds is a separate issue, and unfortunately, the allocation of funds is always at the purview. But it's
still all connected, though, dude.
But there's there's different types of funds, and this when it comes to maintenance. Once the wall is built, the maintenance funds are easy to allocate because you can shift funds from other areas. Congress allows for that. You don't have that ability right now.
MC, how much would it cost to about every 50 yards put a machine gun turret up on the fence?
You still need to man it though.
No, you don't. No. You can have object recognition and facial recognition, things like that. You can pop it off individually.
I can see that working really well.
Yeah, but when the gun
people slaughtered today as a machine gun turret goes wild. All details at 10.
Yeah, well, but hang on. No, but hang on. How can the thing go wild when it's in an area that people shouldn't be in the first place? So,
when the fucking thing
walk off into Mexico.
When it has a stoppage, what are you going to do? Oh shit! The machine gun had a stoppage. Oh jeez! Click a button.
You get the little response from the people coming across the border that says, "Now I have a machine gun too." Ho ho ho!
Well, yeah. So what? A machine's going to shoot a machine gun. A person's going to shoot a machine gun.
Yeah.
No, you can go up and steal it. You're going to tell me that the Mexicans, if they see a jammed machine gun, aren't going to try and swarm it and take it home?
Well, you got to get up there first. I mean, if you can, you should be able to lock it down. Just fucking melt it down. No, you just fuse it. You fuse it into the top of it. You fuse it. Use fusion.
Yeah, but no, real quick, MC, you just made the case for me. They'll go home, which means they didn't cross the fucking border.
No, they'll cross the border to get the gun. No, they'll cross the border to get the gun. They're still crossing the border.
Yeah, but they still can't get. They can't get across. No, like I said, anyway, a gun locks or something. Then you can just notify some, little peon that has to go and fix it.
Yeah, they lock up like them Walmart carts you try to steal. You know what I'm saying?
Well, then pick a better weapon. Pick a better weapon.
Rocket launcher. I don't know, dude.
I don't know. I mean, if you want to go that route, I mean, we have a simple, expedient method that works even today. It's called mines.
Yeah.
Yes, mines. Absolutely. Cluster mines, and I still say that you're not giving the piranha and crocodile idea enough of a shake. I still think that's viable.
A huge moating trench.
We already went there with the freaking laser beams.
Flamethrowers, my man. Yeah. Flamethrowers.
No,
plenty of options. Lots of options.
No, food gas. Food gas is fun.
Are we not are we allowed to kill these people?
I don't know. I mean, technically, I suppose if they're invading, if they're declared as an enemy.
According to the 13th Amendment, all we'd have to do is declare that if we catch illegal aliens, they become, indentured servants, and you can.
But they're not. But the Constitution doesn't apply to them because they're not citizens of the United States.
Exactly. So Fight Club. You see, now you got the.
That is an interesting. That is an interesting. Yeah. That would be interesting to see how they apply.
You're welcome.
It's the arena. Yes, the arena.
No, because didn't recently they fucking went and said that a whole bunch of illegals were allowed into America and have all the rights that America had, even though that they were illegal and weren't actually American
there was a case very similar to that. What the entire thing says, though, to be honest, I'm not.
Hey, I tell you what, you want to freak them out? Build a coliseum right behind the wall. Like a big one. You know what I mean? It's like, you want it? Here you go. This is what you're coming to. Really
welcome to Thunderdome, bitch.
There you
go. Getting back to the.
You want bread and circuses? We got you covered.
Getting back to the machine gun, the whole machine gun turrets every so often and all this. This was an actual thing that I made mention and put forward to during our people's smuggler crisis, the migrant crisis, which ended up fucking the day we put a stop to it, the day they fucking went across the Mediterranean instead of coming out here, was that no. Let them come to the Navy ship, and then we turn the fucking turret around, put 5 rounds below the waterline, and give every cunt that floats a copper-coated candy fucking present. And then we film it. We put it on every social media channel, every fucking news channel. We put it on Al Jazeera. We put it on CNN, every fucking thing. And then we say, right, this is what happens when you come here. If they know that they're not going to live the instant they cross the fucking border, they're not going to show up.
Does this sound familiar to anybody?
Yeah, it does. There is a frisson. I will say that.
This sounds like True Grit.
You can spend all your money sitting on a fucking ship for 6 fucking months going through several different ports and not bothering to go to an Australian embassy somewhere else where you stop, and then come all the way out here to be blown up in the middle of the ocean. Yep, that's your life. Do you really want to do that?
Yeah, but can we put mines on their side of the fence?
No, because there's a no man's land. There is actually a gap between Mexico and.
Can we?
Declare it.
We don't know what the Mexicans going to do about it.
Well,
who's going to stop you doing it?
I know, but isn't that like a violation of some kind of bullshit?
Will they be upset about it? Are you violating treaties and stuff that we have?
No, a no man's land is the whole point about a no man's land is it's a defensive position.
We would be violating Mexico's sovereignty. There's no doubt about it. If we
you wouldn't. No, not in no man's land. No, there is a gap. There is a gap between Mexico and America, which
tell that to the North Koreans and the South Koreans and their fucking no man's
land. Yeah, exactly, and that's the whole point. They do have a no man's land. That's
exactly it. It's called a demilitarized zone, and all you need to do is declare a cold war on Mexico, and say, right, no cunts allowed now, and you put the fucking mines either side of the bloody fence. It's just, it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, but we'd be violating something of the rather.
We do.
But the thing is, but it doesn't matter. The UN is going to say we don't like.
I'm not saying the UN.
We don't care.
I'm not talking about the UN. I'm talking about the United States.
Well, you already do something similar in Gitmo. There is a demilitarized zone around Gitmo.
Let's not talk about Gitmo.
I don't think there would be any problem within American law about defending your borders.
Well,
everything would be in your favor.
Putting mines and shit on their side of the fence.
No, that's Cabbage said something just before.
Yeah, but it's a sign of the.
Yeah, Cabby said something before, and that also goes with fucking MC. What he said is it's a defensive position, and this is like you in a defensive position. You want to funnel the enemy into one spot so you can concentrate your fire on that specific spot. You don't want to be fucking shooting fucking at 360 degrees and all this kind of shit because you're not going to hit everything. If you can concentrate your fire on the little hole that's in the fence, you can get your 10 guys that's in that specific area, and they can concentrate their forces on that one little tiny hole if they do cut a hole in it.
This isn't war, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you got to kind of start thinking like that, though.
MC, help me out. Grandpa, help me out here.
Oh, no, you're on your own, girl. I'm going to let this go.
Seriously.
But the reality is that if we did something like that, we do have with Mexico. The United States has made treaties with Mexico.
Hey, Cabby, you're a robot now, man. Cabby, you're a robot now, dude.
And plus, we have a lot of corporate interests in Mexico that I'm sure that lobbying will play a large role in that bullshit.
That's all right. Trump can just pull that fucking economic bullshit out and
want
fucking
him to.
do it in America.
I'm waiting. I am fucking waiting for that. Because that's a long time coming. In my opinion.
The thing is, right, no Americans really want to just go, annihilating Mexico, trying to get in there. The whole point is a deterrent, right? I mean, that's the whole point of the war. It's a deterrent. It's like, don't fucking bother.
Yeah.
You know? It's not an offensive tool. A wall is not offensive. A wall it's defensive, and it's just saying, don't come across. You're not welcome.
I'm not saying not to build the wall. I'm just saying that there needs to be not just the wall. There needs to be other things in play to make sure that the wall stands.
Well, that's true, but the thing is those things are available. What isn't available is the wall. And one of the problems and one of the reasons why this situation is as bad as it is has to do with the fact that there were people, all right, who decided that they want to see immigration, and they want to see a flood of immigration to bring the structure of the United States down. And they actively were working to damage the United States because they want to remake it in their grand, glorious socialist image.
Well, then George W. Bush shouldn't have fucking let all those dreamers in the first place.
Well, see,
you're not going to get an argument from me when it comes to that kind of stuff. All right, because there are idiots that sit up there. There's useful idiots, and George Bush was one of them. Instead of going out there to try and put an end to this, to actually put an end to this kind of insanity, all right, they were being told by business groups that are interested in cheap labor that no, you let them in because we'll have cheap labor.
That is the main crux of my issue, besides infrastructure, making sure the infrastructure is sound.
Yeah, but see, also when you got the cunts that are coming in too, there are proper means and ways of doing so, and the people that want to subvert those means and ways are obviously people who have nefarious means. We like I said, we went through this with the migrant crisis and all this kind of stuff. They had plenty of chances to jump ship on several different countries on their way here and go to an Australian embassy or consulate and say, I am a refugee of some sort, political refugee or an economical refugee, please help me. And they had the right to do that there. No, they stayed on the ship until they got within eye shot of an Australian naval vessel. They threw all their identification overboard, and then they scuttled the ship just so as that we, under a duty of care, had to pick them up. And once we did that, they're now our problem. We had to go through them. And yes, out of all the people that we let in, 3,500 and something of them have been booted back out of Australia after they were granted migrant fucking citizenship and all this kind of shit because of everything from basic burglary to fucking rape and murder. And we've even had, and this is another thing that I was saying along these lines too, is that your fifth columnists, your fucking ISIS monkeys, where they come from a country and they want to get in illegally to be under the radar and all this kind of stuff. We found one. We might have found one, but it proves my point. We found one. Fuck you. I said it, and fucking we found one.
But
that's the thing you got to worry about. It's like they do have the means. They can go to a border fucking check post, and they can go, oh, fucking the Fedayeen want to fucking get me and all this kind of stuff. Please help me. And they have that option. The reason why they're going over the Rio Grande and all this kind of stuff dictates to me that they fucking are either up to nefarious means.
Look, my whole point is I don't think it's as easy as building a wall. I think it's more complicated than that.
Well, it is, but it's part of the solution. That's
no, I'm not saying it isn't. I
agree.
I agree. There should be hell. I think we should have a wall to Canada too.
You won't get another place you won't get an argument with me from. Especially, we should have had that thing built before Beaver found his way down here.
So, I mean, I just think there needs to be more than just okay. The wall's done. Everything is going to be great.
Yeah, but I don't think that that's what anybody is saying though either though.
No,
bullshit. The biggest thing is that I don't think that's where everyone's satisfied. All right. I think people understand it's got to be a multi-layered approach, right? The problem is though is with the other assets that need to be worked on, that need to be a part of this. Okay, we know for a fact it's easy enough to turn those areas off and subvert them. You can't subvert a wall like you can our court systems by trying to flood it with illegal aliens that aren't from Mexico but are from Central America, especially if you send U.S. personnel down there to hand out flyers and everything to encourage mass migration into the United States.
So that's another thing too. You got to realize that not all of these people are from South America. They're starting to turn people around across the Mediterranean. There's a lot of European states that are now doing exactly what we did, and there's also the states that fucking bagged us for fucking what we did. And it wasn't just stopping them, turning them around, and then go back to where you fucking come from. We're actually putting them in survival boats. We're actually organising different things with different fucking Pacific nations and shit like that to fucking take these people and all this. And in the Mediterranean it's the same thing. Greece, Italy, and Spain and countries like that. They're looking at Tunisia and Libya and Turkey to take some of these migrants. They're going to be putting them in boats that can't sink and then fucking say, go back to where you fucking come from. They're doing all of that stuff. It's a multi-tiered thing. And when what's happened there is that, okay, we can't get into fucking Europe now. Let's all go to fucking South America, mingle in with the fucking South Americans, and then fucking go in through America that way.
Yeah, but again, they're going to have to be funded for that, and that's definitely going to be, kind of exposed if they have to suddenly start doing a divert and
somebody is
get an extra ticket.
That's the problem. That's the problem with fucking the people smugglers, because you will have in South America the fucking drug cartels and all this kind of stuff. Yes, give us all your money and we'll fucking give you free passage that way.
Well, this is the whole point about the human trafficking, right? Mad Dodge. That's what you were going to say, right? I mean,
and also though, somebody is funding these caravans. Somebody paid for the flatbed trucks that they rode on all the way up through South America and up through Mexico. I heard that it was Soros connected, but everybody always blames George Soros. I mean, he's like the boogeyman.
Well, I wouldn't put it past the drug cartels to go like, well, while you're at it, give us all your money, and then here's a couple of keys. And
but you see,
I could see the drug cartels. I think definitely would be more plausible than.
Yeah, they do it all the time. What do you mean? They are doing it. We catch them all the time.
They've been doing it.
Yes, they've already been engaging.
The British people were being, persecuted by the fact that we wouldn't allow people across Calais. You remember there was a thing called the jungle over in Calais, right? And we said, no, enough's enough, and fucking stick them there, right? And we had to do that. Now, that was exactly part of that reaction. It's like, because they had to go through how many countries to get here? I mean, if you go into France to get to Britain, no, you should have shown your papers in Italy, Greece, France, Spain, Portugal. I mean, somewhere. I mean, it definitely you didn't.
And when you did that, what was the response? And when you did that, what was the response of Italy and Spain? Then all of a sudden they started saying, "No, we're not letting you in here." Because they were perfectly fine letting them march through their countries, knowing they weren't going to settle in their land, that they were going somewhere else.
That's exactly the problem that we had. They were going through India and Indonesia and the Philippines and stuff like that. A lot of Islamic-based countries and stuff like that. And they were like, no, not our problem. Oh, you want to go to Australia? Yep, sure. No, we'll fuel you up. We'll give you some food and see you later.
You see, and this is the weird thing, right? It's like, and we're meant to just sit here and we all know these different examples of exactly the same bullshit that's going on, and we're all just meant to go, oh, coincidence.
But yeah, I gotta say,
spare me.
But I have to say, do you really think the federal government is going to follow through with whatever plans they have after the wall? Yeah, they have to, but how many times did they have to and didn't? You know what I'm saying?
The thing is, once again, it becomes then much easier, all right, from a funding perspective, all right, the presidents will no longer have to go through Congress, all right, the way they do now. All right, it becomes a lot easier to do it. The construction is when you're talking specifically about the wall, okay.
I'm talking about after the wall.
Now, right after the wall is built, though, anytime a president starts getting heat, it's easy enough for him to shift funds, all right, to say, look, I'm rebuilding all this stuff and I'm fixing it all right? It becomes very easy for him to do because he doesn't have to run back to Congress, all right? It becomes a central point that's easy to fix. What it doesn't do, though, is it doesn't allow people to sit up there and run down to Mexico with frickin' maps, all right, of where all the frickin' water stations are to make sure that illegal aliens are helped across the border.
Now, Cabby will agree with me with this, is that there'll become a point when you won't see these people as migrants anymore, but you will determine them as an invasion, which is what happened in Europe, and it's what happened with us. And as soon as it became an invasion, then it became a military problem. And it's got to be a problem that you need to. And even still now, we're looking at the next elections in Australia, and the boat people is a big question still. We've been stopping them so far under a Liberal government, and it looks like a Labor government might get in. And the big thing is, well, the Labor rights were fucking letting the bastards in the first place. The Liberals stopped them. As soon as Labor gets back in, they'll fucking let them in again. So
that's where a wall. When a Liberal government gets in, like in the United States, which was doing exactly what you're talking about. When there's a wall there, the wall just doesn't disappear.
Yeah. That's right. And this is the whole. No. This is the big problem, right? We're a fucking island, right? We don't need a wall. I mean, okay, forget the fucking channel. I mean, we can always get rid of that. But I mean, apart from that, right? We're effectively isolated. Mm-hmm. And even that doesn't work, because at the end of the day, if your government's policies are still applied to allowing the shit to happen, or they are willing it to happen, then it's going to continue to happen while your government permits it. That's the problem. We're a fucking island, for Christ's sake.
That was my point about lobbying.
All right, but there's a difference.
Lobbying.
There's a difference, though, in the United States, because the problem in the United States, you guys talk about the people coming in. We have a lot more of an influx, all right, coming in from our southern border than what you guys have ever faced in England.
Yeah, but you see, this is the whole point.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, this is part of the point of. This is part of the point of Brexit.
You're roboting again, Cabbage.
This is part of the point of Brexit, is that, they didn't want the euro because that would destabilize their own currency and all this kind of stuff, which is what Italy and fucking Greece did. But also, there was Germany who wanted to control the fucking European Union and all this kind of stuff. And Germany's been the worst out of the lot with fucking letting these immigrants in, the bleeding heart bullshit. And fucking, the part of the reason for Brexit is to get away from these cunts. And it's like, no, you don't tell us what to do. We're going to lock down our island. Fuck off.
Yeah, I think it was when Merkel.
I seriously think it's just
said we're going to bring it. Just adding
Cabbage.
$1 million. Why?
Cabbage, we can't hear you, dude. Like, you're roboting bad.
You're not wrong, Wolfshot, but the difference is that you got to get it to where you can handle it, even if you have other fifth columnists in your country, all right, that have a laxer policy. It still cannot ramp up to the literally millions of people a year coming across the border.
Yeah, but you still have corporate interests that'll be like, hey, politicians, here's some cash. Let this go through. Let a little bit more in. Let a little bit more in. Let me take my plant down to Mexico so I can actually
you will have that to an extent. Yeah, you're going to have that, but it's not going to be at the level where it is right now. Because the people, the level where it is right now, it isn't the people, it isn't the corporate interests, all right, that are causing this flood across the border here in Arizona. It isn't the corporates that are doing it, all right, and you have to recognize that.
I don't know, man. When these corporations advertise in Spanish and in Mexico, hey, come work for, I don't know, GMC or Ford or whatever. I mean,
chicken.
Oh, that's generally what they were doing. They were somewhere within the agricultural industry with the big ones that were doing it, right?
I mean,
yes,
Purdue
you can, and that does need to be fixed as well. There's no doubt about that. But right now, you're not just getting that. It's way beyond just that. It's way beyond a corporation saying, "Come here and work illegally." It's far beyond that right now.
No, I know. I'm just saying that as well as infrastructure, it just needs to have a chokehold on it. Trump needs to come out and say, if you fucking outsource to Mexico, we're
gonna. Did that. Did you see what he did to GM?
Yeah,
he did do that.
It's one company.
Because they were the ones that removed it. The other company that was planning to do it, Ford, changed their minds. They said, we're going to do it.
Yeah, but now they're in,
what happened. So
now they're in
Canada.
Doing that.
What about that refrigeration company, though?
You've got Purdue, you've got Tyson, you've got a whole bunch of other agricultural.
You're going to have to approach those. There's no doubt that is part of this, but that's not to say that just because we want to build the wall. The problem is the wall, though, because in order to effectively fix the border issue, you've got to have the wall as one of your components. Without the wall, no matter what other solutions you try to put in place, all right, you have no border security.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying build the wall, but then follow through with.
Oh, I agree.
You need to put a chokehold on these corporations that want to outsource, and they should be punished severely.
I agree with you, but first build the wall. And the reason I say first build the wall is because we have been promised by Congress for the other things to happen first, and then they'll build the wall, and the other things don't happen, okay, and the wall still isn't getting built.
Yeah, but I'm worried that they're going to build the wall and the other things aren't going to happen to keep it maintained in all aspects.
I don't disagree with you that's a worry, all right? But to be honest, once again, fixing a wall versus building a wall from a budgetary standpoint, not from an ease standpoint, but from a budgetary standpoint, is a lot easier, all right, for people to get the funds for it.
Well, and I'm not even talking about maintaining the wall. I'm talking about maintaining our economy and our infrastructure once the wall is built, making sure that those assholes don't outsource to Mexico to make it more like glamorous to come up here. Do you understand?
That's where you chuck tariffs on fucking imports from Mexico. It's easy done.
Well, we have treaties about that.
Mm-hmm.
And we've also backed down. Notice how Canada is suffering on those treaties again.
We need to build a wall around Canada too, but
we do need to secure the northern border.
I've gotten my balls kicked in about that a few times. I'm like, why not? They're our border. We should protect it. It's our border. We should protect it.
Well, but yeah, you got to admit that when the Canadians have a sook about that, they're really polite about it, at least.
Well, Justin Trudeau is letting in all these cocksuckers. You know what I mean?
Well, that was the thing, yeah. Like, there's that Iranian Sheila, that was in the Philippines, and she wanted to get into Australia. And I instantly, I said to my mum when we first watched the fucking news article about it, it's like, she's better off going to Canada. I mean, like, Canada actually is the country that let the only political Australian refugee in. There was a guy who was working with the police. He was an undercover copper, and fucking the rest of his unit burned him pretty much. And he basically is like, well, I'm fucking dead if I stay here. Canada, can you take me in? They're going, yep, no worries.
So, like, if these drug cartels have enough to send all these cocksuckers from Central America, what makes you think they won't try and do it to Canada? You know what I mean?
It's a lot harder to get to Canada.
Yeah.
The influx.
It doesn't matter.
But it does matter because
No,
it comes down to a matter of degree, right?
Yeah, they've got to go through America first. Like the North America, the United States, they've got to go through there first, and then there's got to be several states that have got to agree with this fucking caravan and all this kind of stuff. And then when they get to the Canadian border, then there's
you really don't
the
think
bullshit
Justin
there.
Trudeau wouldn't welcome them with open fucking arms?
He probably would, but they've got to get there first.
The Justin Trudeau is under a lot of heat by his own people because he has been doing that. Actually,
I mean, the
there's been
cartel.
a lot
They've
of
got
people
boats.
upset about that.
They got boats.
Justin Trudeau is not.
I'm just saying.
Justin Trudeau is getting away with murder.
If they want up here, if the cartel wants up here, they'll get up here.
That's saying. All right. Yeah, send them up the fucking the west coast so they go through the Bering Sea through storm season.
When you mean west?
I mean, it's not like there's a shortage of Mexicans they can't send up there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but there is a shortage for how they can get there. They're not going to get there by rowboat.
Yeah, but if the drug cartels are funding them, you know.
Yeah, but not by. It's a lot more expensive to try and get a boat with a mass load of freaking people on it than it is to sit up there and put them on a freaking truck.
Yeah, but MC, people have done crazier shit for drugs, for whatever.
Oh, sure. Yeah, but now, like I said, it's not that you're going to stop it 100%. You're going to knock it back down though to a reasonable level. That's what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
so
but
this is not going to stop 100% of illegal aliens coming across the border. It's going to knock it back down to a reasonable level, all right, where it can be handled, all right, by the local, where the local situation can handle it. The biggest problem that we have with illegal aliens right now is the stress that it's putting and the collapse on the social safety net. Right, and the reason the social safety net is struggling right now is because of the mass immigration.
That's what it was all about.
We'll take it. We'll take care of it.
This is what
you also got to remember. Yeah, Cabbage, you're robot and bad still, dude. Fucking
man.
Yeah. What you also got to remember about the drug cartels is they're taking money. They're not going to fucking spend money. They're not going to go and pay for the visas to go through America. They're not going to pay for the fucking bribe for the border guard. They're not going to pay for anything. What the drug cartels are doing is they're moving people through their country and taking money. They're not going to spend a fucking penny on these assholes. Not at all. So once they hit the US border, it's not their problem anymore.
Yeah, but you can go from Cuba to Canada.
You could. Doesn't mean you should, but yes, you can. Yes, you can. But we're talking about land people here, not fucking ocean-born migrants.
No. I mean, like, fucking on a plane. If these drug cartels really want people on the plane or whatever, they could do it that way. I know it sounds irrational or whatever the fuck, but...
Okay. Let me put it to you this way, right? The people they put on the plane have got, like, probably $500 worth of drugs up their ass. The person who actually has the drugs up their ass probably paid $6,000 or $7,000 for that flight.
Well, probably less, to be honest.
I was about to say,
it only
Cuba doesn't give a fuck.
$1,700 or so will get you from Mexico all the way to Canada on a flight.
But it's basically, like fucking the migrant isn't going to fund their own way. The drug cartels aren't going to go, oh, you want to go to America? Okay, no worries, we'll pay your way with nothing, no strings attached.
No, they're gonna be given.
Is this working now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you now, Cabby.
Time.
Talk for a bit. Hang on, Cabbage, talk for a bit.
Well, I was just going to say that, with regards to this whole migration thing, at the end of the day, that the issues, and especially what you were saying, MC, with the the infrastructure, the housing, the hospital facilities. I mean, everything that everyone recognizes, and the idea that they try and undermine it, or some kind of that's irrelevant. That somehow you can stick a half pint into a quart bottle is just so fucking retarded, and I don't understand why. I mean, even the liberals. I mean, I know they're not good at STEM, right? Math and things like that. But just get a pint glass and try and pour it into a half pint, and they should get the fucking message, right? You'd think.
Cool, we got most of that. Well, we got all of that.
Mad
Right.
Dog.
What were you saying, Mad Dodge?
Oh, yeah. What I was trying to say is, you already have the cartels pretty much moving people from Mexico into the United States that can't necessarily pay for it. They pretty much get to the United States and then they're stuck working for the cartel for a set amount of time, almost
But
like indentured servitude.
Sort of, kind of, yes and no. But Dodge, we also had the same thing out here where you had people spending their entire life savings to come here absolutely broke, and they knew they were going to get picked up by the Royal Australian Navy. They knew they were going to be put in an offshore detention centre. They knew that they'd be basically coming into Australia without a fucking penny and under the guise of the government. So it's not like these cartels could fucking keep their tabs on these people after they got into Australia. They just want the money up front. Whatever happens to them after that, stiff shit. The fucking boat sinks, stiff shit. The fucking Navy sends them back, stiff shit.
Exactly. It's people
they got
trafficking.
that money.
I mean,
there is
US,
a shortage
yeah, but it's
of
UN
Mexicans.
supported. Yeah, but you know, you got the UN and you got the NGOs all supporting it. I mean, the NGOs are normally funded by the UN anyway.
Yeah, but once they get picked up, like they know that there's no more money coming out of these people. They're absolutely worthless to them. That's why they do scuttle the boats, because they couldn't give a shit if they fucking sink and drown. They do have a strong feeling that, well, if they do it in front of an Australian naval vessel, that yes, we will do our duty of care and due diligence and all this kind of stuff. There was one boat that did sink, and the frigate that was nearby didn't actually see them. And they're trying to say that it's our negligence because we didn't come and pick them up. It's like, yeah, well, we didn't fucking see the bastards because they scuttled the boat too far away.
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't matter. I mean, they'll use anything. I mean, remember that child on the Greek beach?
Yeah.
Remember that dead baby that they managed to post? Right, which actually wasn't there at the time. They actually had to position it, right? So some sick bastard actually picked up a dead baby and positioned it so it could look good for a picture. That's what the kind of level of mentality we're talking about.
That's another thing that we had. We had, it's a very famous thing, go look it up. It's called the Child Overboard Scandal. And that's where fucking people were throwing children overboard just to make sure that the fucking Australian naval vessel that was nearby went and picked them up. And they were literally saying, pick us up or we'll drown this child. That's literally what they were saying.
Yeah. No, not even with water wings.
Throwing them out with freaking steak on their things. We're chumming for freaking sharks.
But surprise, surprise, when we stopped the boats, all of a sudden,
fishing.
The biggest fucking story coming out of Europe is like, oh, poor babies are washing up on the... Yes, we know how that happened, and you wonder why we're heartless fucks about it.
Well, yeah, you're going to get desensitized, aren't you? You know, when they keep playing these games.
It's not so much like desensitization. It's like, yes, we've seen that before. You tried that with us. Now you're trying it with them, and we tried to fucking warn them.
Well, the thing is it is a desensitization. It is a desensitization that's being done, but it's the reaction over time is going to be far, far worse for people.
But the Europeans
you harden people's hearts. What ends up happening is that they just go, well, then go ahead and suffer and die.
Well, like I said, the Europeans have figured this out, so they're doing exactly the same thing as what we did. Offshore fucking detention centers, Turkey, Libya, Tunisia, those kinds of places. No, we're sending them back, and it's your problem now. Fucking, you let them through. Most of the people on the boats also too. There's hardly any females. There are a few children, and they're mostly males of fighting age.
What did Turkey just recently do?
Apart from kill a fucking journalist.
Yeah.
Well, apparently they're holding to this this fucking thing that the European Union are trying to do with turning back the boats and all that kind of stuff. But
they built along their entire border with Syria. They've built a wall.
Oh, that's also too because the Yanks are pulling out and they want to go and fuck the Kurdish over.
Well, they're worried that the Kurds that have been armed on the other side of the border will come fleeing into their country.
I doubt that. They don't have tanks.
Well, but it turns into more like a guerrilla campaign with the Kurds. It's always been a guerrilla campaign with the Kurds with them.
Yeah, it's like Afghanistan.
The Yanks pulling out though, pulling out of fucking Syria and fucking over the Kurds. That's going to end horribly, I reckon. That's not going to end well.
Well, everything ends up horribly down there. When has it ever ended up well?
True.
But at some point in time, those areas are going to have to start taking care of themselves. They cannot continue to expect everyone else to take care of them for them.
Well, that's what Assad's been doing.
Yeah, but the thing is, but remember that these North African regions are taking in people from Somalia, from Eritrea, from all kinds of different, middle regions. I mean, Cambodia and places like that. So they're all commuting. You know what I mean? They're commuting to their source. So
the fucking Mali, the Tuareg,
the whole thing is a joke.
That's where I say it's a fifth column thing. Like fucking, you got.
Well, they say they're Syrian, right?
Yeah.
It's a guy from a guy who's moved from Eritrea and happens to be shipped from Syria, and he's suddenly a Syrian immigrant. No, he's not. He's from fucking Eritrea. He's from Cambodia or wherever. He's not a fucking Syrian. He just happened to have got on a boat in Syria.
The Free Syrian Army has never been made up of fucking Syrians for like fucking 5 years.
No, they're mainly freaking
exactly.
Iranians and Iraqis and a bunch of other people from all over. Yeah. No, right.
Exactly.
Well,
and they're the cunts.
As well.
They're the cunts that are trying to supersede all of these fucking border thingies and send fucking fifth columnists everywhere else in the world. Like they're trying to send them to Europe. They try to send them here. They will now try and send them to America.
Well, send them anywhere they fucking can because they're obviously not welcome at home. No, if you look at, what the Turkish Prime Minister said, if they have 2 children, you have 5 and all this sort of stuff. How breedy.
Yeah, he did. He actually
this is a fucking...
He actually threatened. You're right. He actually threatened and said, "We're going to sit up there and come to your country and we're going to breed you out." Yep. Now you've got the state leader who's saying we're going to come to your country and breed you out. He literally, that's when Merkel was kind of looking a little weak. He literally threatened Merkel with that. He said, if you try to ban us, we're going to come to your country specifically and start breeding you out.
Well, they've already done it out
and
here.
And then she invited them in, the stupid bitch.
Sydney, for example, is cut in half, like literally cut in half. There is a massive swathe of Sydney that is a Muslim fucking territory. And that's exactly what they did. Like fucking Ahmed moved in with his wife Fatima and then they had 15 kids. And the next thing you know, the whole street's full of Muslims. And then the next thing you know, the whole suburb's full of Muslims. And then the next thing you know, each suburb, each side's full of fucking Muslims. And that was part of our fault with our fucking immigration policy was that we let the bastards in and let them fucking just congregate. And we had the same thing with the Vietnamese and the Greeks after World War II, the Vietnamese after Vietnam. We brought them in, didn't teach them anything, didn't send them out the back of buggery and teach them our values and then let them back in the city. They fucking wandered around Sydney and they found the next fucking person who spoke Vietnamese and went, oh, look, there's a person who speaks Vietnamese. I can talk to that person. They're now my friend. I'll move in next door to him. Next thing you know, you got places like Cabramatta, which is full of Vietnamese people. You got places like Banks.
That's how ghettos get created.
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised about the Greeks. I mean, the Greeks. I mean, normally they're pretty fucking passive, really. They don't do a lot.
Yeah, well, that's what you get.
That's the reason that they're in the shit they're in.
That's what you get when the Army's parade uniform is a dress.
Oh yeah, but I mean, have you seen how they march as well? What the fuck is that about? It looks like something out of I don't know, Toy Story or something.
And they're funny little shoes.
The Greeks they definitely have an attitude, and their attitude stems from the rest of the Western world owes us, because we are the creators of Western civilization. Bow down to us and give us our due.
Not really. See, out in Australia, when the Greeks came over here, they had this attitude of what's yours is mine and mine is not yours. But they went out, they worked, they had like most of like what you see in Australia right now is made from Greeks and Italians after World War II. And they worked hard. They tried to assimilate. They, and even, with the racism and all this kind of stuff. There's a place that I used to work at. We had 5 Johns working in the place, and we determined them by Puff John, Wog John, which is the Greek fella, fucking Little John, Big John, and fucking JL. And Wog John
was probably Turkish, right?
No. He was Greek. He was a Greek fella, but he worked hard.
Turkish Greek.
The Italians, the Greeks, they worked hard. The Vietnamese, they came out, they work hard. Like most Vietnamese out here, they work in bakeries. They have their own little bakeries, and the best bread you get out here is from a Vietnamese bakery, and they're up at like fucking 4 in.the morning baking fucking fresh bread, and they'll work till like 8 o'clock at night.
Same as any bakery.
Yeah, they'll work until 8 o'clock at night. We like
that's
those
same
people.
as any bakery. It doesn't matter if it's Vietnamese or not. I mean, every bakery does that. But every bakery has to be up early in the morning to make the bread, so it's fresh for the people who want to eat it. Yeah,
but the Muslims, the cunts from Iraq, from Syria, from Iran, from all those places, they mainly there's a reason why in Sydney there's a section of the police called the Middle East Organised Crime Unit, because guess what, cunts from the Middle East don't really want to work, they want to do crime and shit.
Is that they actually call it that, the Middle East Organized Crime Unit? You could never get away with that in the United States.
No. Look this up. The MEOC number plate thing. Like some of these fucking Muslims are actually getting their number plates with the characters MEOC, Middle East Organized Crime Unit. And some of them even tried to put flashing lights in their car, and they're fucking pulling cunts over and all sorts of stuff. There's an actual unit at the MEOC, Middle East Organized Crime Unit.
Interesting. Okay, MC. So you said the Democrats already came out and responded to the president's press conference. What did good old Nancy have to say?
She said it's a non-starter. So you're not getting any money for the wall.
Okay. So they're standing. They're standing firm.
Yeah, it was at the moment she's standing firm, and that's what it's going to be. This is going to go on. The shutdown's going to continue until people really start feeling it, until Americans really are being affected.
Trump is not going to blink. I mean, he's made that clear.
And see, the thing is Nancy Pelosi doesn't realize that not only is Trump not going to blink, all right, she's counting on the fact that eventually the weak-kneed Republicans will back away from Trump. But the weak-kneed Republicans can't do it either, because the same constituency that Trump has is their constituency as well. And they've already felt the wrath several times when they've attempted to go against their own constituency. And so they're not going to do it. And Nancy Pelosi screwed the Democrats took over the House. That's all true. Well, who did they take the House from? They took the House from the Rhino Republicans. Okay, a lot of the Republicans left were the same Republicans that were going to they were the rhinos or the weak knees. So they basically concentrated the conservatives.
You thinned out the herd.
Exactly. And so what you've got now are people in Congress around her who are far more conservative than they were as a caucus. All right. And now she's dealing with an entire situation she's never had to deal with before, but she thinks she can get away with it because the press keeps giving her these glowing stories, and they keep talking about how Trump has to change. And she thinks she's winning the war because the media, the Washington Post media, all right, around her area are all telling her, good job, right? But what's going to happen is people are going to start writing their own congressmen going, I'm still out of work. When are you going to fix this? I won the one who elected you. right? And they're going to say, I don't care about the wall. They're going to be like Wolfshot in a lot of ways. They're going to say, I don't care about the wall. Go ahead and build the wall, but I need to eat. And that's going to happen. But it's going to be another month or so before you get to that point.
MC, what you got to realize, like talking as an outsider from outside of America, we saw Nancy Pelosi get up and her heart felt, oh my goodness, oh, the way she speaks and all this, and we fucking laughed our asses at her. She has no chance.
Yep.
Don't worry about her.
Well, do not underestimate her political ability, because she is a good politician. She is a very wily.
I've heard her talking.
Well, but she noticed so far you haven't seen a lot of cracks in her coalition yet. You haven't seen a lot of them breaking down. She keeps a tight rein on her caucus.
Maybe she's the one that's being supported by the caucus. I don't know, because every time she sounds retarded. I mean, she can barely string a sentence.
Well, okay, she sounds retarded, but guess what?
She's talking about halfway through.
She not only did she sound retarded, but you got to remember she's been the Speaker of the House before, when she literally lost the House to the Republicans and had to turn the gavel back over. Okay, yet she still maintained her power. She still maintained political power through her caucus, and whether you like her or not, all right, you have to respect. During the entire time of where she was a minority speaker, she kept the Democrats under a tight leash to prevent them from crossing the aisle.
But see, what you've also got to realize too, MC, is that like the rest of the world does look at America like you're the superpower. Like, what happens to you affects the rest of us, and fucking like I can tell you right now, Australia won't stand for Pelosi. We just won't work with her, and I'm pretty sure the British will do the same thing too. And I'm pretty sure most of the Europeans will also go.
If you say that the British won't work with Nancy Pelosi, and then they vote in May, I'm sorry, but I'm not sure I buy that.
Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, but the thing is, nobody has to deal with Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, that's right.
She's not coming over negotiating anything. I mean, she's purely an American, issue. She's not an international issue.
But having said that, if we already say right up front, say, no, we're not going to work with that fuckwit, then her party will just go, maybe we should find somebody else to lead us.
Well, here's the thing, though. Nancy Pelosi represents what district in California? Pretty much
Berkeley.
Okay, so
Berkeley.
How many?
That says it all.
How many people do you think are on food stamps in her district? How long until they're outside her offices freaking out and starving? She represents Democrats.
How much has the shit collection increased in her region?
No, in her region, where she lives in the upper side of the Berkeley area, but the reality is, she's going to start feeling, but she can't. Okay, you got to understand this. There are other Democrats who are going to be. It's the other Democrats crossing the aisle in spite of her that are going to change the dynamic. Okay, It isn't going to be Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi will not change her tune the entire time. Exactly. It's going to have to get taken out of her hand.
Right? This is what makes it funny, because the DNC doesn't have any leadership. They really got nothing.
They do. I mean, like it or not, Nancy Pelosi is their leader, and believe it or not, she has a tight rein on them. She really does. You guys are underestimating her power if you think that they don't have leadership.
No, she may have in terms of her, like the position that she's holding or whatever, but I don't think that she's the one that's actually doing anything, because I can't believe it. I really can't. I mean, she may be I don't know, some kind of mouthpiece or something, but I can't believe that she's the actual leader.
Yeah, no,
you are really underestimating her political skills if you believe that.
No, I'm telling you
in which
right
case,
now,
they are fucked. Then the Democrats have got to be fucked, surely.
Yep, I'm telling you right now, she will not be the first American female president. I'm telling you that right now.
No.
Oh, no, she won't be.
I don't think she even wants to run for president. I think she likes being Speaker of the House.
Well, then she'll go the same way as Julie Bishop. Julie Bishop was the first female fucking Speaker of the House we hadn't, and the fucking Labor Party basically fucking shouted her down every time she fucking spoke up and acted up and all this, and made her out to be an incompetent fool.
Yeah, you're not gonna. If Trump wins it, when Trump wins this battle, and I do suspect that he's going to win it, so I'll say win. When Trump wins this battle, that's when you'll probably see the long knives come out for Nancy Pelosi. But it's going to take something like that, all right, in order for them to get rid of Nancy Pelosi, because she's been able to keep them in lockstep this entire time. And she's been doing it for decades. She has a lot of power.
Yeah, but is it really her doing it?
What?
Is it really her doing it?
Yes, it is really her doing it.
It's
I'm telling you, you guys, I know you guys don't want to believe it. It is really her doing it. You've got to understand how the press has portrayed her. They have not told the people what she's like. They constantly hide her gaffes of when she speaks. Yeah, it gets pointed out to people like you, but here in the United States, nobody hears about it unless you go out of your way to watch what's going on in the public. And one problem that Americans do have is this. In America, politics to the average American are only paid attention to once every 4 years during the presidential elections. During the off-year elections, most Americans turn themselves off completely to politics because they go, I just don't care. I don't have enough time to deal with this. I just don't want to deal with it. And they don't.
Yeah, but not right now. All eyes are on this battle over the wall.
Right now, that's true, because people are like, but what are people doing right now, Mad Dodge? Most people in the country, what they've done is they've got their popcorn out and they're watching it back and forth. They're not personally engaged in it.
Well, no, and MC, dude, like I was saying the other day in Discord, my wife and my brother-in-law were sitting here talking about the government shutdown. Like, they don't talk politics either. Like, my wife really can't be bothered about politics. She hears me talk about it all day long.
And I bet she rolls her eyes, doesn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, but now she's actually fucking talking about it. You know what I mean? All eyes are on this border wall.
Yep. And it's been brought to the forefront. And that's one other reason why the press it thinks that they can continue to dominate and control the narrative. All right, which is why they don't talk about the illegal alien aspect of the border wall, if they even mention the border at all. They talk about it as a shutdown. Most of the articles that you see written talk about the shutdown don't even mention the wall. Don't even mention the wall as being the reason for the shutdown. All right, they just talk about the shutdown continues and look at the people that are suffering and look at all this, because they don't want to talk about the wall. The problem is that they don't know the narrative the way they used to.
But that's the thing. And who are they appealing to? The very people who are actually being paid by the taxpayer. And the taxpayer is sitting there saying, thank God these fuckers aren't, sending me letters. I haven't got any brown envelopes for another month.
Well, no, yeah.
So, I mean,
well, and that's the thing also is Wednesday, I have to go file taxes. We're going to H&R Block. We're hoping to walk out with some of our refund like usual, but I don't know what's going on with this shutdown. So, yeah.
Oh, that was a clever move as well. Prepaying the food.
Oh, that prepaying the SNAP cards, front loading the SNAP cards. That's going to lead to starvation. They're going to be people.
Oh, it will, because people are going to shit their money away.
Yeah. They're not going to sit up there and take their time with it. They're not going to budget it. They're going to sit up there and go on a freaking, buying spree, and they're going to buy all the worst things, right? And they're going to buy a ton of it, and then they're going to run out of food, and that SNAP card's not going to get reloaded.
You got about a month before that. The consequences.
Why exactly?
A bunch of people who can't manage their accounts an awful lot of money.
Yeah, but why isn't it being funded? Considering the money should have already been dispersed to the states for the food stamp budget.
What they're once again, it's not necessarily the federal government is different. The reason it got front loaded, right, was because they still had the authorization to spend it that way. Okay, they didn't have to reauthorize it. It comes down to how the authorizations for spending came about, and they had a longer reprieve to that part of that spending, but they know it ends. All right, in February. It does end in February. So what they did is they said, okay, let's front load it now, because then in February we're not going to be authorized to actually let any of that money out. And so they front loaded it to try and get that money out.
They're going to end up with, you got a bunch of people who don't know how to budget with 2 months' money. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it's going to be
going to happen.
I mean, flat screen TVs are going to be running off the shelves.
No, you can't buy flat screen TVs with the snap stuff.
No, but you can use it.
But what they do with it is they
know how these people do it. They'll buy somebody else's produce and you get food on that behalf.
Exactly. What they do is they say, give me $500, I'll give you this snap card for $700. All right, and that's what they do.
Exactly. So wow. It's going to be.
The black market in Arizona is a little bit different. In Oregon, it was 50 cents on the dollar.
I'm just using that as an example.
Well, you don't know how to negotiate.
See, I'm not part of that marketplace. I don't engage in that kind of activity, to be honest.
Yeah, you just have to say that. You're out there buying food stamps every day, aren't you, MC? We know it.
I'm a scalper extraordinaire.
Yeah.
But no, that's what's going to happen is there are going to be people that are going to run out of money and they're going to start complaining that they don't have enough food. And they're going to look at people and the press is going to try and say, well, Trump is keeping you from doing this. And he's going to turn right around and say, no, Nancy's doing it because she won't give me a wall. I understand that you're starving, but you know what? I'm trying to protect the American people. Tell her to let me protect the American people. That's what he's going to do. It's obvious what he's going to do. He's telegraphed what he's going to do. And the fact is that the media believes that they can keep that information from the American people and run their own narrative.
MC, that's what he said this evening when he did the speech, earlier this evening. Yeah. That's exactly it. It's like, we just want the border wall. That's all it is. Everything can go back to normal if only these people would allow us to do something sensible.
And Nancy Pelosi immediately rejected it. They immediately came out and said, no, this is a non-starter. And once again, what are they doing? What's Trump doing? Trump is playing identity politics with the identity group the Democrats rely upon. All right, here's Hispanics saying, oh, no, we got to save the Dreamers kids. Don't you care about the kids? And he's co-opted that entire freaking narrative now for himself.
Oh yeah, he did say about the DACA things, and
yeah,
I mean, there's a lot.
I care about these DACA children. I care about you. If you cared about the situation, you would be sitting there trying to convince your side to stop this. Now they've already been shaken to the core about this once. But then they basically shrugged it off. Nancy Pelosi shrugged off the danger of this, all right, a long time ago, thinking that, oh no, Trump will never actually force a shutdown. She actually believed that. The Democrats actually believed, oh, the Republicans are so weak-kneed, they'll never fight this. Okay, you just saw it. They really believe that Trump, they don't take Trump seriously. They listen to his words and then they parse his words literally, but they don't take him seriously when everybody was trying to warn them and saying, look, Trump will shut the government down. No, he won't. No, he won't. No, that's just talk. The Republicans always say that and they always back down. That's been their mantra. Well, what are they saying now? It's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault. And Trump's just shrugging. Okay. I'm trying to defend the country. That's my job as president. Next. Look at what he did to that reporter. Do you think I should sit up there and give in? You think I should cave in? Do you think I should cave in? No. Tell me, do you think I should cave in? And when the reporter's like, well, I'm not the president. Said, that's right, you're not the president. That's why I'm sitting here and that's why you're over there. And they were like, oh my God. Trump, I'm telling you now, this is Nancy Pelosi picked the wrong fight with the wrong, and she's already gotten freaking slapped for it. She tried her political stunt saying, I don't think you should have the State of the Union. So what's Trump do? Let me show you what power is, Nancy. All right, you're not going anywhere. You say that we don't have the money and funding for security. Well, then I don't have the money and funding for security for you to sit up there and go on your overseas trip. Next.
That was great, too. He made them turn the bus around.
Yeah, and Nancy was fit. They're fit to be tied. Look at this. This was just a political stunt. This was just political payback. Okay, you can say it's political payback, but maybe you shouldn't open your mouth. All right, about the State of the Union.
Yeah, but that's exactly it. She got fucking slapped down, and then and then she bitched about it, and then guess what happens the next day? Another one gets cancelled. It's like, hey, I can do this all day. How many of your junkets do you want me to cancel?
He's canceled them all now. Do you read what he did? He canceled them all. He said their United States military will not sit up there and support any of this. And guess what? Yeah. He is the president of the United States. He is the commander in chief. He has that authority and that power.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but it's just funny. I'm just saying, it's like she thought that she could, it's like, oh, and then it's going to be, oh, well, I'm going to embarrass him as to how and then he just doubled down and said, yeah, by the way, your friend over here, he's not going anywhere now either. And then just boom. Yeah, well, they have no idea how to gamble, these people. They're throwing down and
well, they've never had to. See, this is a problem with the way the press. The press, okay, the press has insulated them from from reality for a long time. What's happening to them is something that they can't believe is happening to them because it's never happened to them before. Nancy Pelosi has never been stymied like this. She's never been treated like this. When she was talking with Bush was quiet. He didn't sit up there and try and go out of his way to embarrass her or anything else. That's not who you're dealing with right now. Okay, you're not dealing with Bush. You are not dealing with Reagan, and you're not dealing, all right, with any of these other presidents. You're dealing with Trump.
No.
Is
MC,
not like a normal politician.
MC, the key word is they're not dealing with a politician.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. Everybody else were politicians. Trump's a businessman. That's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
And he approaches things from a different perspective, and it's something that I can tell you right now, that fact alone irritates Nancy Pelosi. All right, but what she's really gambling on is that, well, us politicians are so much smarter and we're so much better than you are. Right? She really believes that. She believes that she's part of a group of people that are smarter, better, more intelligent, all right, than anyone else, and she's going to get a lesson the hard way that she isn't as smart nor as intelligent as she's always thought herself to be, because the press has always been, licking up her ass, all right, telling her how wonderful she is.
Yeah, she's from a rationale of like either suck up or scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. Mm-hmm. And now Trump's more of a thing of like, yeah, well, what am I going to get when I scratch your back? Oh, no, I need more.
No, the difference is it's like when the street meets, the west side. Oh, sorry, east side, isn't it? In New York, it's the, he knows how to play a position. These people don't. They've been given everything, and they've always had their own way, and they're always negotiating with the people that they know and they're comfortable with.
Yep.
He can pull any stunt out of his hat, and they have nothing to go with. They've got no, their compass is completely thrown off track.
If you look at what the complaint is between a lot of them, they talk about how they don't. It's crazy. You never know what's going to come out of his mouth. You never know what do you mean you never know what's going to come out of his mouth? No, if the average American is looking at what he's saying and they're like, he's saying the same thing he always says. What do you mean that this is all chaos? what do you mean? There's nothing new here, and they've never encountered it before. They've literally never encountered people talking to them this way.
Yeah, it's a kind of a thing of like, holy shit, yeah, we want a budget, but holy shit, we've actually got to make it work and then have some pennies on the other side of it. Holy shit, we've never done this before. Oh, we just got money thrown at us, but now you want us to fucking be accountable? Oh my God.
Well, no, actually, you want somebody to be productive. You actually want someone to produce something and, get a return on something. Well, they're not used to that,
Exactly.
Whereas Trump's looking to get a return on the American taxpayer. He's seeing the taxpayer as an investor. He's not looking at them as a sucker. Whereas the Democrats, that's all they've ever seen them as.
Well, the political class, it isn't just the Democrats. The political class looked at the Americans as sheep. all right, to be shorn, all right, to give them sustenance at their will. They really do have a royal type of mindset where you are there to serve us.
Yeah, well, it's exactly what I said a couple of weeks ago when we did the fucking sovereign citizen thing, where we were talking about like people's values, and there's an informal contract and all this. And in a semi-welfare state, you are expecting that this person will go through school, gain an education, and then gain work, and then pay taxes and all this kind of stuff. If you have a welfare state where no one's fucking working and no one's paying taxes, well, then how are you going to fund them? That's the difference. Like Trump's looking at, right, it's not what you can do for your country, but what you can what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. It's like, no, how much worth are you, and why aren't you being that worth that
why aren't you stepping up? Why aren't you being a part of this? But it's something that they've never encountered.
And that's
really
exactly
isn't
right.
anything that they've encountered, because they've been expecting to talk this issue out.
When was the last time ever any one of them had to worry about, maybe getting a Christmas bonus or something like that? It's the problem with most politicians. We got the same problem over here. They've never fucking struck a deal. Look at Theresa May. Never worked in industry. She's negotiating, the deal of our, in living memory, the most significant one. And she's meant to be down there, and she has no fucking experience. Not only that, she's not even committed to the deal that she's trying to do. We have politicians all over the place that are, being forced by their, by their electorate to go against their own wishes, against their own whims, their own, their own values or whatever. And they don't know what the fuck to do with it.
Yep.
They
thought they were just going to keep on, laying the
forced to live up to the commitments that they verbally have talked about for time immemorial. And now they're being held accountable, and that's the biggest problem. They've never been held accountable for all the bull crap that they spew. And now all of a sudden, here's a politician who's saying, I'm going to build the wall. And they're like, yeah. No, I'm going to build the wall, and you're going to give me the money to build the wall. Yeah. What do you mean you're shutting down the government if you don't get a wall? You're actually trying to do what you said? How dare you? How dare you come in there and do what you said you were going to do?
Absolutely.
That's not what politics is about.
Yeah, that's why it fucks them up.
But no, on that note, I think that's a good spot to end it, because President Trump's just doing what he said he would do. We'll see how it all pans out. I know you have to go out of town sometime soon, MC. Are we good for the Civil War episode tomorrow, or are we going to put that off?
No.
Okay.
We'll do the Civil War episodes tomorrow.
Still dragging it out. Holy
But just
we didn't drag it out. It was my fault because I screwed it up last week, but there was a lot of other stuff going on, so we chose to do that. We chose to put it off or delay it a week. But no, I will be. I'm good for next week as well for the Civil War. But I won't be doing my normal morning rants Monday through Friday. I just can't do it.
Just real quick, last
my lunchtime fuck.
Sorry. Just real quick, a last thought on Trump. Like, basically, the first three things he did was that, no, I'm not renovating the fucking White House because that was actually supposed to be Obama's job, but I'm not going to spend that money because it's frivolous. Oh, we need a new Air Force One. Hang on a minute, Boeing. We don't need a purpose-built umpteen billion-dollar fucking thingy-doodle when everything's plug and play nowadays. You come back with us with a better option. And then the JSF, the F-35, fucking, this shit's been fucking dragging out for years, and they've just told me it's going to drag out for more years. Well, guess what? Boeing's making these F-18s that fucking are heaps cheaper. So, hey, if you don't fucking start paying up, we will fucking start buying F-18s instead of JSFs. And oh shit, the JSFs now starting to go into
he lowered the price on all of that.
But the F-35 is a fucking pig. The F-22 is beautiful. I mean, it's a superb machine. I mean, it's got thrust vectoring, it's got super cruise, it's got all the
longer range,
toys and the bombs, and it's
got better
superb.
stealth capability.
And not only that,
there's a lot,
and it can be used. And
the only thing that it doesn't do well
in dogfighting.
Yeah, the only thing that the F-22 doesn't do well is it doesn't do a very good job in ground support. That's one of the things that it doesn't. It does a shit job.
Yeah, but that's fine. Yeah, well then just keep the A-10. Fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just keep more A-10s, and that'll do the job then, right? So you got.
Oh no, you're not going to get an argument from me about that. I mean, I totally
take an A-10, pull it to bits, make the jigs off an A-10, and make more A-10s.
All right. Well, I know how you guys could get when you start talking about aircraft, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Good luck. And don't go to France without a yellow vest.